Right, let's go. Good morning, everybody, and happy Easter. It is Easter Sunday, and I am spreading a bit of fertiliser on, this is second dose going on silage land. Just a little bit, a little top up. We've, well, something we do every year. We don't just do one blanket application of silage land, always split it in two. So this is just a little top up now, ready for first cut, which will hopefully be the first week of May, weather allowing. I'm not going to whinge about the price of fertiliser. Plenty of others on YouTube have. It's expensive. There we are. We're just going to get over it. But we aren't cutting back. A lot of others on YouTube have said, "Oh, we've got to cut back." But if you're cutting back, ooh, well, you're cutting production, aren't you? And milk price at the minute is flying up. So why would you want to cut production? I'm not going to cut back because, well, I can't really, because we've got too many cows. We're a bit too tightly stocked to cut back. And if you cut back now in the spring, come the autumn, when the milk price could be 50p a litre, all of a sudden you cut back in the spring and the cows aren't going to milk so well in the autumn, and you won't have as much milk to sell. That's the way I'm looking at it, and that's the way a lot of farmers are looking at it. One thing I do wish we did have, though, was more slurry to spread. Because where it's had slurry, it's certainly looking better. And if we did have more slurry, I would be able to reduce nitrogen a little bit per acre. We had enough slurry for silage land, and that was it. We haven't got enough slurry for grazing. Maybe mid-season we will. Possibly will try dribble barring on some slurry midway through the year. Cow-wise, it's gone quite well calving this spring. We didn't have the mad rush that we normally have in February. We start calving beginning of February, and normally it feels really, really busy. The first 3 weeks you'd try to calve half the herd in the first 3 weeks. Last year we calved half the herd in, I think it was 19 days. This year we were 23, 24 days, if not nearly 25 days, when we got to halfway. So it seemed quite slow getting to halfway, but then it just seemed steady. We got to 6 weeks and we had calved 70% of the herd, which is okay. So instead of having a mad busy 21 days, we had a steady 42 days to get to 70%. And now today is the 17th of April. Yeah, 17th of April today, Easter Sunday, and we've got, I think it's 11 cows left to calve, which is a nice little number. So calving went relatively smoothly for us, really. Slow and steady, but cow health-wise was really good. We've had, out of all the herd that's calved so far, we've only had 5 milk fever can't talk this morning. We've only had to treat 5 cows for milk fever, and we've only had one cow hold on to a placenta for more than 24 hours out of all the cows that are calved. We've only had to assist so far, I think 6 or 7 cows, which out of calved now, so like 335 have calved. It's pretty good going. Very, very pleased with that in that respect. So hopefully, because of all the easy calvings, the cows should be in good condition now. They weren't too stressed through calving, and they will be getting ready to be bulled now in the first week of May. Just concentrating on getting back on my guidance line. There we are. Grass growth is slow. We are tight for grass. We were out, fresh cows, calved cows were out to grass from about the 10th of February by day, and then we were out night and day from around about the 10th of March, I think. We were out night and day. We were still feeding silage at that point, mind. There's still a bit of silage because the grass wasn't really getting going. We'd spread fertiliser on the whole farm middle of March. All the grazing had a blanket of treatment of fertiliser, but that didn't really do anything. Just seemed to sit there. Until we had a spot of rain towards the tail end of March. So that fertiliser went out and did nothing really. Grass just seemed to stay still because it was, ironically, too dry. So once we had a drop of rain, grass did take off, but then once that rain came, it came really cold. And then into February, we've had more frosts now in the first 2 weeks of February, I think, than we've had the whole of the winter. There we are. That's the way it goes. We are now, as of yesterday, started our 3rd time round grazing the home farm. But there's a bit of heat in the air now. April, this weekend has been quite warm and you can see things altering, so we'll probably get out with a bit more fertiliser on grazing land this coming week, and with a bit of luck then we should have plenty of growth to get away ahead of the cows and maybe lock a bit extra up for silage, because at the minute it looks like we only have our dedicated silage land for silage this year. It doesn't look like we're going to have much platform silage to make. Not a first cut time anyway. So one thing I've noticed from spreading fertiliser yesterday and a bit more today is just how dry the fields are. Normally in April you can still sort of see tread marks and still a bit tender here and there when you turn in. The fields are really, really dry for April at the moment. I know Simon was telling me when he was spreading fertiliser around the farm in March, he went past the exact place where he bogged the tractor down, I think it was 2 years ago. I've got an old video of us winching it out. When he spread right past that piece back in March, didn't even leave a mark. Didn't sink. He left a tread mark, and that was about it. And that's the difference we've got this year compared to, say, 2 years ago, and even compared to last year. The fields are very, very dry. And like I was saying earlier, I think getting the cows out early and grazing grass and saving silage could be a good thing this year, because it's very dry now, and if we don't get much rain, it ain't gonna be long. It ain't be long before we could be into a dreaded drought. And that 3 weeks worth of silage I've got in the pit will be very welcome. I hope I'm not tempting fate by saying that, but it's just a feeling you got, innit? the ground is very dry for the time of year, and it's been very dry from an early point in the season, I mean. So yeah, this year's not the year we want to drought when we've got high costs in terms of fertiliser and everything that we handle. This year's going expensive, not just fertiliser, fuel, everything, the lot, isn't it? Cow feed, bloody hell, that's going dear. Over £300 a tonne for the feed we're using. Could easily be £400 a tonne, if not more, by the autumn for cow feed. I mean, for standard food, concentrated feed, meal, that's unheard of in conventional farming terms. I know organic farmers have been paying that sort of money previously. I dread to think what organic compound feed is now. I mean, that would be absolutely eye-watering expensive. So yeah, I think any grass we can graze now, silage we can save, make as good a quality first cut as we can, either save it for the autumn when we have high feed costs, just to not feed as much in the autumn. But then, if milk was 50p a litre, it might pay us to feed more in the autumn, we don't know. Milk could hit 50p a litre this year, which would be as unheard of. I mean, I'm with First Milk, and we're going to be looking at almost 40p for May. 40p! Never seen that before. Not in my farming lifetime. So, I think cutting back now is possibly false economy. Now we should be pushing to get more. But then if everyone pushed, maybe we won't see 50p a litre. Who knows? Anyway, I think I've babbled on enough. I think I've rambled on enough in this video. I think I'll leave it there, and hopefully it won't be too long until I see you next time. So, hope you've enjoyed the little video, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.